Hello, you're listening to From McClay to Zelma. I'm your host, Karen Miller. This podcast is about the adventures and travels of two women from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, who work for the U.S. Army at Zama, Japan. Their stories are told through hundreds of letters written home. Episode 14, Typhoon Tess, letters 34 to 37. Peg, written September 15th, 1953, from Camp Zama. Dear Mother and Daddy, I was in Tokyo with Jeanette on Saturday, and I got you and Duff and Ray sprinter pots. I'll get them in the mail in the next day or two. I can hardly wait until I hear how you like them. Vern, and I think that now I can't remember what I think, because Colonel Van Tool just called me long distance and chatted for a while, and I forgot what I was going to say. He's a character. He wants to impress people that he has a secretary, so he calls me every day when he knows darn well that nothing startling ever happens around here. Except today, a new lieutenant colonel reported in, and he was most interested in hearing about that. 2 helicopters just flew over the building after work. I just remembered what Bern and I think. We think that maybe you can keep the sprinter pot upstairs in case you want a hot cup of tea or instant coffee up there sometime. Diobi? That means okay. After being out 3 nights in a row, I'm staying in tonight to catch up on some sleep. Saturday night, I had a date with an Army lieutenant. Sunday night, I had a date with a Marine captain. He's a jet fighter pilot and Tuka-san sharp. Last night, 5 of us were invited to dinner and a party up at the Fujiya. Oh, this gay mad life I'm living. It's fun, but I can have just as much fun with the girls. Thursday night, 5 of us are going into Yokohama for pizza pie at the Golden Dragon Officers Club. There really isn't too much news. We're about half finished with our Christmas shopping. We're going to send the stuff home as soon as we have all of it. Then I'm going to start buying junk to bring home with me. I certainly enjoy reading Mary Worth. There's a real clever cartoonist who makes cartoons for the Stars and Stripes, and it's called When We Get Back Home. I'm saving them, but I won't send them to you because I'll have to explain them. They're really cute, though. I think that's super about the TV set. Don't forget to take some money towards it out of my account, and I mean it. Gee, I'll be so stale about all those things. I still haven't heard from Sis and Mark, but I really don't care about hearing from anyone but you. Today, I got a letter from Barbara Salinger and one from Pete. When you know I'm coming home, please have a good, fresh Lebanon bologna and Schweitzer cheese and soft rolls ready for me. Gee, I could really go for some right now. Today, the sun came out for a change. This afternoon, it clouded up, so I rather imagine it will be raining again tomorrow. This isn't a very interesting letter because I don't have any news, but I haven't written in a while. Tell Grandpa I sent my love. I hope he feels better. Blondie is so cute. Remember how she drank out of the water pitcher when we were packing the foot lockers? Love, Peg. Letter 35 from Bern, September 18th, 1953. Enclosed are cutouts from a newspaper. The title of the first one is Honor Aged People with Rights Today. And the second one says Ringo. Hi, dear ones. Your letters are always so warm and loving. Each one makes me homesick for a little while. But don't stop writing. It's a good feeling, too. I have 17 days of annual leave, which must be taken before the first of the year, or I will lose it. Hence, I'm not working tomorrow morning, and if it's not raining, Jeanette, Peg, and I will go to Nikko for the weekend. We will stay at a special services hotel, and we'll take a planned tour of the various shrines and scenic waterfalls, etc., which are to be seen in that vicinity. We don't think it will be worth doing if it rains, and Peg already has a cold and shouldn't go slapping around any more than is necessary. However, if the sun shines, off we'll go. Then next Wednesday night, I'm going with Vi Domenecki and some of her friends to Kyoto. This is in southern Japan. We will ride all night in a sleeper. Kyoto is the cultural center of Japan, and supposedly there is much to be seen there. I will let you know later. I'll be there from Thursday until Sunday. Logan needn't get worried yet. Today I received letters from Helen Lapano and Sam Sheridan from over at work in New Cumberland, and earlier this week I had mail from Jerry Marshall. Wasn't that nice of them to write? As yet, I have not written to Aunt Gert or Miss Hauser. In fact, I didn't get around to Dan and Margaret or Don yet either. I have made a list, though, and I'm gradually checking them off. Everyone keeps asking for Christmas suggestions. I don't really have any special needs unless it is for shoes, and you can buy those out of my account. High heels or medium flat shoes, play shoes, any kind. It is quantity that counts because this whole camp is rocky and muddy, and half the streets in Yokohama are unpaved alleys. If anyone is seriously interested, I wear 6.5 B width. Stockings are also needed, size 9.5, and food. I can quote you an Army PX or snack bar menu with my eyes closed. The food is not bad, but it's the same all the time. So perhaps some kind soul would like to bake cookies or make molasses taffy. And how about a little applesauce cake? Shall we send those original tin cans home? Not the big canisters, but the mint cans, or can you find others to use? Teen Coleman, whom both Peggy and I like very much, is going home. She is a Red Cross worker and was in Korea before coming here. She's a very idealistic girl, every inch an aristocrat, and I think she feels there's not enough to do for people here. And very true. She went out with a Korean man socially while over there, and the Red Cross frowned and said no soap and transferred her here. Probably they have been somewhat snooty to her, and she's had enough. We will miss her very much. I've had my camera loaded for weeks just to take pictures of places here at Zama, but this damned weather, and that's exactly what I mean. It is not even the rainy season, and it has rained part of every day for a month. Next time I sign up to see the world, remind me to check on the weather conditions first. It's certainly, it's been 3 hours since this letter started. Vi showed her colored slide pictures of Japan, and we had a party. See why it's so difficult to get a letter written? Now it's bedtime, for if we go tomorrow, I must get up at 6 a.m. Here are a few clippings you might like to read. Talk us in love, Burn. Letter 36, September 20th, 1953. Dear Mother and Daddy, this is from Peg. Dear Mother and Daddy, I really should take my shower and get to bed, but I have some stuff to tell you. We finished our Christmas shopping today. Isn't that just so efficient? Parcel post rates are supposed to go up after October 1st, so we're trying to get the box off before then. Ann Engel, the girl in my office from Reading, is leaving for home around October 1st. She told me she would take anything I wanted home with her, and she will either send it to you from there or else bring it up to you. So we're going to try to send our gifts home with her. In that way, no duty will have to be paid on them. But no peeking, either one of you. I know it will be a big temptation getting a Christmas present so soon, but just put it away and forget about it until the big day. Or I guess Christmas Eve, when you have your party. I hope you like what we got you two. Mother, your presento is a combination birthday and Christmas gift. I can hardly wait for you to open it. We did get Patsy a doll and also a gift for Bruce, Tom, and Helen, but we're sending them as Christmas gifts. Oh golly, please have a Christmas party like we always do because we really think that y'all will like this stuff a lot. Yesterday, we bought a Japanese toaster so we can eat more often in our rooms. With the price of food going up and winter coming, we'll be doing more of that. This morning, Vi invited Bern, Jeanette, and I to go to her house for breakfast. We had fried eggs, coffee, cocoa, toast, jelly, and tomato juice. Not bad, huh? Friday night, we stayed home, and I played my organ for about 2 hours. Then Vi came up and showed us slides of pictures she has taken. There were about 6 or 7 of us, and I served coffee and crackers and pretzels. Last night, after shopping, we had ice cream and coffee. We seemed to congregate in my room. I think people drop in order to get my mind off playing the organ. I give the kids the dickens when they drop stuff, but they know I don't mean it, and they always come back. Yesterday, we went to Yokosuka, a naval base about 45 minutes from Yokohama. They have a lovely ship store, and it certainly was a profitable trip. That's where we got your gift, Mother. Aren't you two just bursting with curiosity? We got on one of the Navy buses to go back to the main gate, and it was just like taking a tour of the base. It's a Tokusan big place and very interesting. We saw an aircraft carrier and some other kinds of ships. Mother Byrne and I just about collapsed when you wrote Takusan in your last letter. You must be getting Skoshi native too. My colonel got back from a 10-day trip on Friday, and I'm sure he kept me hopping. When I came back from lunch, the typewriter boy, son, was cleaning my machine. Dottie had told him to do it, that it probably needed it, so I just had to sit and wait until he was finished. The colonel knew I had plenty of work to do, and he came over and said, "Peg, you sure can foul things up all right." I said, "Well, it just comes natural with me." Poor Dottie, not knowing that we understand each other and that I was just kidding, jumped to my defense and told him that she told Boyson to go ahead. Colonel and I just looked at each other and grinned. One day he told me he needed some replacements for some VC officers who were separating. He said he needed some red-blooded young men, and I said, "Well, I'll just tell you, so do I." He almost fell off the chair laughing. I really must get to bed. I have Tokusan work tomorrow. Take care of yourselves and write soon. Did Blondie's hair grow back yet? Love, Peg. Letter 37 from Peg, the 25th of September, 1953. Dear Mother and Daddy, it's Friday afternoon and none of the colonels are in. Isn't that nice? Typhoon Tess is on her way. It has been raining all week. No, it was lovely Sunday and Monday, but then it started to rain Monday night. It's been raining on and off all week. Today it is very sticky and hot, and every half hour or so it just pours. Major Forsyth, the dietitian, got a phone call from Osaka this morning, and they told her they expect to get the typhoon about 2 o'clock this afternoon. So I guess we can expect it tonight or tomorrow. You know I'm getting used to rain by this time, although that doesn't make me any happier about it. And I'm feeling for Byrne and Vi down in Kyoto. It certainly is a mean weather for a trip. They'll have fun anyhow, though. Last night I started to wrap our Christmas gifts. They certainly aren't wrapped very fancy, but we thought you'd get a charge out of the original Japanese wrapping paper and more than the usual stateside paper and ribbon. I'm not proud of the way they look, but it's really the inside that counts. I fixed up your presents and gave them to Anne today. Now she doesn't think she'll leave until the end of October, but please don't open the box no matter how much temptation it may be until Christmas Eve. Before I forget it, I must tell you this. We got Marky and Marlene jackets, which we think are hideous. They're embroidered and they're made of satin materials, something like those flashy motorcycle jackets. But we just couldn't find anything else for them. And some of the girls said that they've sent them home and the kids just love them. So if Sis and Mark's eyes pop out and think we've lost our minds as well as our good taste, please explain that to her. We think everyone else will like what we've bought them. We've got a large charge out of Pete carrying the buttons with her everywhere, so part of her present is something that is very suitable for her to carry in her handbag. It's a delight to shop for and buy things for women, but kids and men really stump us. They have some nice raw silk sport shirts for men, but I don't think they'll launder too well from the looks of the raw silk dresses, so we didn't buy any of them. This is a Christmas secret, but I think it's funny. We bought some of the men on the list table lighters that are almost exact duplicates of Ronson lighters. The Japanese can imitate anything. I bought 2 of them in one store for 650 yen each. A few days later, I went in another store and asked how much they were, and he said 750. So I said, "No, that's Tokusan yen." He said, "How much you pay?" I said, "I pay 600 at the other store." He said, "I'll sell for 600, and that's how much I paid. I also bargained for the gift we got Susan. He wanted 2,200. I said, as usual, Takusan yen. I paid 1,900. He said, "You come up 100, I go down 200. So I got it for 2,000 yen. Byrne just about dies laughing at me, but most of the storekeepers expect to barter, so I just try to keep them happy. By the way, was the customs card still on the package when you got it? I'm certainly glad I don't have anything with me that is valuable or that I prize a great deal. The other day, Yamanuchi was dusting my room and dropped my radio. You remember, Doc jumped up at the cord and pulled it down on the floor, don't you? After Jim fixed it, it played better than ever. And I truly think it plays even better now that she dropped it. Maybe I should drop a radio every week, huh? I'm getting so that I can speak this darn chopped up English almost as well as the natives. I told you about the Marine, didn't I? Well, I had a date with him last night, and he and I talked almost the whole evening like that. It's really funny because we talk like people who are just learning English, with a scattering of Japanese words and phrases mixed in. Maybe you no understand Peggy-san when she comes home, nay? She talk funny now. She even write to Mama-san and Papa-san funny. The job is just fine, to Joby, that is. Yesterday, Colonel Joliffe, the chief nurse, and Major Forsyth were talking while I was in the latrine. It's latrine, not ladies' room over here. Colonel Joliffe asked what I did to Colonel Van Tool because he used to be in bad moods most of the time, and he's been in good moods almost every day since I've been here. Maybe at last I'm getting some brains about how to handle men. He's still a character. Colonel Saller, the surgical consultant, he's the one who was mentioned in the article I sent you, went back to the ZI, I'll clue you in, is the zone of interior, which means the United States, to take his thoracic surgery board exams. I asked if he happened to meet Dr. Sapolsky to give him my regards. He said Dr. Sapolsky, might not be at the examinations, but Colonel Saller plans to go to the American College of Surgeons meeting in Chicago while he's in the ZI, so maybe he'll meet up with him there. Gee, I'd like to be with him because that's always an affair that the surgeons from the polyclinic attended every year. Speaking of doctors, yesterday I was looking in our medical corps roster, and I happened to think of Dr. Simon, so I looked up his card, got his address, and wrote him a Scotia letter asking him to call me if he ever gets this way. And today, Major Hillsman, the assistant chief nurse, told me that Major Cornfine, Helen's friend, is due to return to the ZI soon, and she will ask her to call me when she's in Japan. The other evening, a special service girl who spent about a month in Korea touring with a soldiers show stopped in my room to talk. She was most interesting and gave us a first-hand view of Korea. She said that she was glad for the experience, but she never wants to go back. It's a dirty, filthy place, as are the people, and they rob you blind. They even steal fountain pens right out of your pocket while you're walking down the street. She said she went to the top of a hill, which was only a few miles from the dividing line, and she looked through a pair of binoculars and could see the Chinese communists digging a bunker. She said that the attitude of everyone over there is that this truce business is just a breather, and our forces are preparing for the outbreak, which everyone seems to think is in the not-too-distant future. Makes the whole thing seem kind of useless, doesn't it? I'm very glad I decided to stay here, but I'm not in the least afraid. Teen Coleman, my next-door roomie, is a Red Cross girl. She spent about 4 months in Korea during the hostilities. She said she was never afraid. Maybe I'd feel differently if I heard a bomb drop in my backyard, but as it is now, and with such powerful weapons that both sides have, I guess it's just about as safe here as it is back home. But we do know that we'll be evacuated any time that trouble really starts brewing, so don't worry. It's not even worth mentioning, because no one even talks about it. But this special services girl and Teen seem to bring the whole thing closer when they talk about actually being there. Teen is a doll. She's from Troy, Alabama, and it's just loads of fun. However, she decided on the spur of the moment to resign, and now she's waiting for transportation home. She wants to go to New York to work. I spent one whole evening trying to talk her out of it. I understand I'm not that much in love with this country to encourage anyone to stay. But I think she's making a big mistake by going home after having made the long journey over here and then just staying 5 or 6 months. I had her almost convinced to resign the Red Cross and, if she wanted to, get a job here as a DAC and stay for a while longer. I told her that she'll never, more likely, ever get over here again, and she hasn't really seen enough of Japan to have made the trip worthwhile. However, Teen slept on the lecture, and the next day she said she was going home. I'll sure miss her, because I hear Peggy with a southern accent being hollered at me any time of the day or night. Usually it's Peggy, come here. So then I drop everything and run to see what crazy thing she's doing or crazy ideas she's thought up. Bern and I both think she's super. I'm expecting my weekly letter from you today, so I'll save enough room here to comment on anything commentable. No airmails today. The weather has been so bad these last few days that I guess many planes have not been able to get in. Tess is really starting to act up now. Jeanette just called and said that she's eating in her room tonight, so I'm going to do the same. Vi loaned me her hot plate and pot till she gets back, so I'm going to have beans and cheese crackers and junk food. It's very dark out and starting to blow. Such a country. Well, that's about it for this time. Tell Grandpa I said hello. It makes me feel good when you write and say that people ask about us. We think about everyone often, but I sure as the dickens wish that I got more letters. Love, Peggy-san. See, I can't even spell my own name anymore. I have a feeling that Peg is downplaying the typhoon weather. I don't know about you, but also her concerns about the Korean War starting back up seem legitimate and understated. I suspect that her sister really lectured her about saying concerning things to their parents in her letters. I decided to check out Amazon to see if sprinter pots were still a thing. What I got when I looked at Amazon was a collapsible travel kettle for $25. I remember going to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware with Peg and my mom when I was about 4. She brought her sprinter pot and made herself tea in the boarding house room every morning. I don't remember ever seeing them again, but I had a little electric kettle for tea and hot chocolate in my dorm room in the 80s, so I guess we're just all the same. I love the mention of Levin and Bologna. As long as they were still in their home, they always had some for me when I came to visit. I guess I'm not the only one for whom it is a memory of home. Byrne mentioned some articles she sent to her parents, one about Aged People's Day, and that one explained that people over 60 made up 8% of the population of Japan, the most ever. The other article was about Ringo apples being cultivated in Japan for only about the last 50 years. Before that, the only apples they had were small and like crab apples. Well, I hope you're enjoying the podcast, and if you are, please subscribe in Spotify. On Apple Podcasts, hit the plus button in the top right-hand corner and rate. This will help my listeners find my podcast more easily. You can access the show's website at www.FromMcClayToZama.com, where I have posted photos from each episode. The podcast is now available on iHeartRadio, Pandora, Patreon, and Amazon Music as well. In the next episode, Kyoto Prefecture, you will hear letters 38 to 40. I hope you have a great week.